I mean, Clubhouse is typically, honestly, it's been going all over the place in recent years, but generally it's going to lean that 4-2 defensive split. But with these two teams in front of us, there's really no way to know. The one thing we do know is that A, this is not going to be as defender-sided as Oregon, at least on paper. But the question we still have yet to answer is Arial Arise. They're going to know this map well. It's a default map. But this is arguably even more utility focused than Oregon is. Like, Oregon could be frag heavy and utility focused. It can be a little bit of both, depending on your operator bans, depending on your opponent in any given day. But Clubhouse, it is so hard breach dependent, and as a result, can be so hard breach denial dependent. And then, one more step further, dependent on your ability to get around that hard breach denial. Are you bringing those EMPs? Are you using those nades from below? Are you playing together to get those steps done? And as we addressed, those were the big Arial Arise issues on map 1. Map 2 is still a question mark that we are hopefully going to get a bit more clarity on in just a bit. Right now, on this attack, they're having to deal with Mirage on a very large extension all over this map, using those reinforcements on both the Jacuzzi side and that CCTV side, and keeping both Vertical and Rampy up top for now.
Yeah, roaming topside with both the T5 players, the Legion and the Oryx, Vert and Rampy. Trying to hold topside as they've fallen back from the CCTV position. That was Rampy's spot, and there goes Brios in the entry, spotting not one but two and collecting the kill onto Rampy. Kind of aware of the positioning there, maybe the suppressor providing just the slight advantage Brios needed. Nonetheless, that's a good opening pick here for the attacking side of Arial Rise, and they have removed the roaming contingent from Mirage without sacrificing a whole lot of utility. It was like one exothermic and maybe one frag grenade. No, not even a frag grenade taken off. So this is a very good start here for Arial Rise. 4 red pings onto the members inside of blue. It's who can get off the sprinting animation faster. Slothy and Kansan will both tag in for kills. So there goes Kansan. This is a tough one now as Arial Rise had the advantage, and it's just too many people sprinting at the same time, and the SMG wins that engagement.
Down a man. Arial Rise need to clean up their act here in the back half. Bay doing his best to open up the ceiling of the site from up top. Poison, unfortunately, gonna have to use an exothermic charge on a castle barricade. No breaching charges. Didn't want to take the time to smack that, what, 13 times? Is that still the number? And anyway, in any case, a lot of work left to do for Arial Rise, and I mean, they're getting it done, but real slow-like. And 20 seconds remain. Mirage, they can sit back and wait. Poison, his position is known as there is poison in his leg from the goo mine. They'll group up and push through Moto, but Spiker, great angle from him. He'll mow down one, Cans in the second, and Poison on 1 HP. It's not much longer for this Earth either. The opening round, it may have started with an Arial Rise kill, but it certainly didn't end with one.
No, very nearly an opening double there for Brios. And again, if both members, one from either side, weren't in a sprinting animation there, it could have been a heads-up gunfight with the assault rifle having pre-aimed the corner and catching the Azami sprinting, but that just was not the case, and the dice roll falls on the side of Mirage there in that engagement, and they're able to tack on another one, so they take a man disadvantage into a man advantage. Very impressive resilience there, and like Jesse said, at least the attack was able to get into a position where they had an advantage to start things off. Good news is here for Arial Rise, they'll have plenty of room to work with here. The only problem is, having surrendered the first map, which was Mirage's map pick, they are now on the back foot. They get one round closer as Mirage pushes on every single time towards being eliminated from the LCQ. This is single elimination, so if you lose a series, you are done. There's no more advancement, there's no loser's bracket, there's no redemption story.
Remaining.
It's just win all the way through to Atlanta, or you fall short.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Arial Rise here, like you said, bit of a pug stack, not really an established team that's been around for a long time in T2. Obviously, players are, but as a 5-man unit, they haven't been. This is an opportunity, like Lax said, to kind of demonstrate that you have what it takes to play on this level, contend with a team on this level. The first few rounds of Oregon sure made it look that way, but as we moved on Oregon and now here on Clubhouse, we're seeing a bit of a different picture.
Loading full magazine.
We'll see how the rest of this thing gets painted for us as we work our way into round number 2. I was gonna say, you give Brios a chance to get involved early and you're bound to see good things happening for Arial Arise, but in that case, just completely caught off guard, and Slothy was so ready for that gunfight. Backing off now into Cash, joined by Vertical on the coverage on the top of the red stairs. You see them holding this extension, and you know how much easier it's going to be to hold now that Diana is taken off the board. No more nades to worry about. You don't have to worry about the Gemini, and that is a lethal gun in the hands of Brios that is no longer going to be a factor either. A lot of utility being devoted to this position too, and the longer they take, the worse it's getting. That's 2 for Slothy so far. He's looking for 3. Bay nearly gives it to him, but backs off and looks for another fight.
They got a drone on him, and finally Inrio will shut him down. I'm not sure if they're aware of Vert's position. He will get droned out of the top of red here instead of taking the fight. Walk away with the man advantage. Well secured, and beautiful performance here from Slothy on the Frost. A solo hold inside of CCTV. Didn't even need Vert's help in that engagement. So again, mission accomplished here for Mirage in terms of their roam. They've killed a lot of time. Killed 2 members of the attack. Brios and Woos stayed in the same position we did at the same point in the round as last time. It's a good spot to be in if you're Mirage. The man advantage. Poison will be opening up the Jacuzzi breach. Or Spike to rotate off. Could have debated going for an impact. Oh, that's a leg. That's a leg. That's a leg. There you go, Bay. Just finding the perfect pixel to remove Kansan from play. And they'll level the man count there. He's got Spiker to worry about close on that gym window as well, so it's not easily wrapped up just yet here for Mirage.
Yeah, not until they get these final few kills will they feel completely safe. Of course, certainly safer than they would have been had there been more time on the clock at this point. I mean, 28 seconds. Arial Arise clearly uncomfortable, trying to get a little bit more information before they make their final push. They've spotted Vertical here, but yeah, no call out. He's gonna walk right into Poison. Inrio pushing the same position. Coverage from Rampy is perfect. Oh, and even the EDD, I think, is the one to actually close it out. The Capcan to get the kill. And Mirage still sitting pretty.
Well, I must say, these attacks at least look better than we saw in Oregon. There seems to be some more droning to reconfirm where players are. It's a lot less of a just walk at the site and hope you win. There seems to be a coordinated effort to push. There's a little bit of a waterfall effect there for Arial Rise's attack, where it's just one person pushing in and losing the engagement, and the next person's turn is up to go and push in and lose an engagement. So maybe a little more cohesion on the execute towards the site, as there's only about 20 seconds left. But you really got to give it to the Capcan of Slothy, though, I think, on or not the Capcan, sorry, the Frost of Slothy, as he was playing last round inside of CCTV, just solo holding there and able to acquire 2 picks very early on. Did get traded out eventually, but he just lived for so long on the green box inside of Cash that he really was a difference maker on the round. And that's kind of what Mirage have needed, and we've seen that on Oregon as well, where there are just so many rounds that went by the wayside for Mirage, where there wasn't really anyone taking charge other than really Slothy and Spiker. Those were the only 2 that were really jumping off the page for you in terms of being able to be difference makers in a round. So looking to see more of that from Slothy and Spiker, but hopefully the rest of the Mirage roster as well. And we continue the trend of still only having 1 attacking round victory so far across 2 maps in this series.
Yeah, that's a lot of rounds with only 1 attacking win. What are we? We had, what, 12 rounds first map? We're 2 rounds in here. 1 attacking round win total. And Mirage had the pleasure of doing that at the very back half of their attacking side on map number 1. This also means they have won 9 rounds in a row. Arial Arise have yet to find an answer. I know Laxing brought up the importance of Arial Arise getting back on their feet quickly, and I think we're seeing the consequences of that not happening here, and it's starting to get even worse. If they don't win a round in the next few rounds, I mean, it's gonna feel impossible to win a single round in this series at that point. Great impact trick, just on point from Kansan over on that gym side to slow down this attack even more. Or rather, that was on the platform breach, excuse me. But this attack, we know the difficulties they have with utility, and thankfully they do have that wall opened at this point. The impact trick was just a mere delay. But Mirage are clearly putting up a much more concentrated effort here to deny Arial Arise for pulling off anything silly.
Vert here on a bathroom mirror, but there goes Woo's, just a swing from Slothy. Vert's partner in crime over here on the far side of the top floor. Distraction of the Mira, and I imagine Inrio was either holding an opposite angle or just droning in that instance. Woo's will fall, Kansan and Brios will trade with each other, and there goes Bay outside of the construction window. Mirage feeling themselves now. Poison will get one back, but it's just Inrio alone. Will down off and finish Slothy, but on about 40 HP, if he hits one of those Capcan traps, it's lights out. Still got some goo mines to string around the map here if you're Spiker, and some more Kiba barriers regenerating potentially later on for Vert. This is a very tough spot to be in for Inrio. 40 health, trying to work his way back to the bomb site, and like I said, if he hits one of those Capcan traps, it's lights out. You can see the smiles on the face of Mirage. That's a clean sweep of defensive objectives.
A little 1, 2, 3. Gosh, that's 10 rounds in a row now. And they really, I mean, they're not making any mistakes at this point. They are also doing things that we didn't even consider they would bring out on this map. They've ramped up the confidence to a completely different level. And someone like Slothy is taking every single engagement and winning every single engagement. I think finally going down there in the end, trying to do just a hair too much. But in both rounds 2 and round 3, Slothy has aggressively taken the first fight, won that fight, and gone on to take 1, if not 2 more engagements and win them again. It's just all going his way. It's all going Mirage's way. And the attacking drought continues. The reset button desperately needs to be pressed here for Arial Arise. Attack timeout should come in the next round or 2. The fact that we haven't seen it already is already a bit concerning.
5 seconds.
Suppose so, and I think for Arial Arise, no point in taking an attack if you don't have the answer. I guess if you're just going to take the attack for the sake of using it to slow things down, then sure. But I think this roam again from Mirage is going to cause some problems for Arial Arise's roam clear. Saw it last time around. It was 2 T5s playing topside. Pretty sure we saw Vert up, or Rampy up there. I'm not sure where Vert is. We got the Capcan once again. So Rampy, top of red, Vert inside of Master. So we're starting the exact same positions for both of these players. Vert playing over by Jim is going to have to contend with the Ace Selma, opening up his Jacuzzi Breach. But the impact trick will be successful this time around. It will remove the Selma from Wooz's position. And it'll only be a peek hole now. But Inrio, once again, we start off with the G36 getting the opening kill. But this time, it's onto the superstar from Mirage on this map of Slothy. Instead, this 2-man roaming contingent is still left unencumbered topside at the moment.
Well, that's a great early kill for Arial Arise. Let's see if they can keep that momentum up. They've shut down the demon that has really been tearing them apart so far on Clubhouse. They just need to keep moving through this map. They cannot allow Rampy or Vertical to give them trouble, and I think Mirage will give them that. They'll give that to Arial Arise by pulling Vertical and Rampy back. Not fully, though. Rampy's still hanging around. The call came to retreat. They did, but they've not gone all the way downstairs, hanging out on the main stairs, hanging out on this first floor. Arial Arise should be aware of that now. Drones spotting both of them. Reasonably, you should see them drop away. Instead, Vertical chooses to take the fight and finds one. Inrio's now in their crosshairs, looks to step up, doesn't find his opportunity. And Vertical has repositioned, not to the basement, but to the kitchen instead. Has he been droned? Now that's the big question.
I don't believe he has. I think that is the saving grace here for Vert, but I think for Arial Arise, they are aware. They seem to be very cautious about entering in towards kitchen, although smudging in the kitchen hallway, they might not actually know that Vert is here in kitchen and ready and waiting. This could be the play of a lifetime here for Vert. Very long and storied career, but nonetheless, continue the reign of dominating defensive rounds, and Vert's just trying to find the right moment to strike. Not want to give away his position too early. Is just a flank from this position after everyone drops downstairs could be devastating. Poison able to remove the EDDs, so be able to walk in through the moto door into church, but Here comes that flank from Vert. It's probably going to be lethal. He's working his way towards the top of the kitchen stairs. Poison gets dropped. 2 on the floor now for Arial, as Rampy will cut through them. The roaming brother, the T5 Bash Bro of Vert. Here comes that flank holding on top of Moto stairs. The drop coming down. Vert decapitates Woos. It's just Spiker now to finish things out. And it's Mirage. 4 rounds in a row on the defense on Clubhouse, looking in control.
And it really feels like they can do no wrong at this point. Like the fact that both Vertical and Rampy were able to get as active and as creative on that roam as they did, and then to both survive it. For Vertical to then be able to tuck into kitchen, go completely unnoticed, and come for the flank later. I mean, it's all clicking for Mirage, and it's the little things that are getting Arial Rise into trouble, and they haven't found a way out of this hole. That's 4 rounds into Clubhouse. That's 11 rounds in a row that Mirage have taken since their 5-round deficit. It's like they took 5 rounds to feel it out. They didn't know what Arial Rise was bringing to the table, but once they put a finger on it, it's game over. That's really what it feels like right now.
Well, I think as well, we're seeing better attacks onto Clubhouse, but again, the conversion towards the bomb site is the biggest hurdle for this team right now for Arial Rise. Just not being in a position, not having opened up anything. Like, this is just a position where you're losing too many members out on this roam, and Mirage have brought the aggression to try and kill as many members in as much time as possible and just put Arial Rise in a position where they're tight against the clock. That's why those Capcan traps and the Legion traps are being used as well. Those are objects that if you have all the time in the world, you will see, but if you're pressed and there's 20 seconds counting down against you in a 4v4 or a 4v3, that's a nightmare to deal with, because you don't want to have to stop and look down and check every door and check every crevice for some sort of trap. And they're very successful in those very chaotic and tense moments of time.
10 seconds left.
I think for Mirage here, doing a very good job of setting up a new game plan. I think on their Oregon attacks, the theory of aggression was very present. It was not successful whatsoever. But rotating to the defense, they played a little more passive and just let Arial Rise come to them, and it worked out. This time around, bringing the aggression, but on the defense. So from a position of strength, seems to be working very well for Mirage here. Deceptively, we are now 3 rounds away from closing out the series, closing out the day, eliminating 2 teams from the LCQ, and just packing stuff up and waiting for tomorrow's games. This has gotten away from Arial Rise very early on, and there goes the Kai trick from Spiker. No EMPs being brought in from Inrio, as he is on the Thatcher, but he just wasn't in position to EMP in the wall in tandem with Poison. Saw this earlier on in the SQ playoff games as well, where these Electro Claws on Consulate, which is devastating. So I think for right now, Arial Rise just they do not have the attacks figured out. It's going to continue on here, and Mirage on a good course to wrap things up in the first half.
Did it miss? No. Okay. I thought for a second I still saw some of that electricity buzzing after the EMP went off, but thankfully it has been allowed to open up the wall. And the same thing goes for that Jacuzzi side. Both positions now opened up. And Arial Rise, in theory, in a good position to now get a move on. But it's still going to take some time and still a good bit of work to do. The Selma on the mirror window is one example. Spiker isn't going to be able to stop it, but he's also not going to expose himself to that position. Nor will he expose himself to this gym window that Brios is now trying to open up. Utility has been a problem in this round, but at the very least for Arial Rise, they have all 5 bodies up and a minute 20 to work with.
I think the big thing here is for Arial Rise, they do open up the CCTV platform, but they aren't trying to clear Slothy immediately, and Kansas is going to get right into the master window as his Kita barriers get punched open and a deal about half the health away from Inrio. Here's Spiker again, just waiting. This aggression here from Mirage is suiting them well as Arial Rise unable to respond in kind. There's the beautiful shot from Spiker. Now the Kiva barrier to play with around, and unfortunately he will be dropped inside a bathroom. But Woo's now trying to push in alone as Brios has jumped into Jim. The site itself has fallen, but the retreat from Kansan here could be perfect. He's able to hit the deck right beside the master bedroom, and he's able to drop Brios, spraying in the vault unsuccessful from Inrio as well. It's a 2v4 to work out of a 2v1 now. It's just a 1v5, sorry, as Bay, the lone man trying to hold for Slothy's swings outside of CCTV. Last man standing. They didn't try and clear Slothy inside of CC. They're too afraid of him replicating success from the previous round. They played this site. There it is. It's a clean sweep for Mirage once again. A flawless round just to add insult to injury. And Mirage, a team that looked very flustered and frustrated about an hour ago, in cruise control.
Give me a T. Can I get a T?
No.
Damn it. I was going to spell 12, but it's 12 rounds in a row.
We're not doing that bit for all of those letters, no.
For the D, the W, the E, the L, you weren't going to go all the way?
You got halfway there, man. No, we're not doing that.
Well, hey, 12 rounds in a row. We're not even going to spell 12 because that's going to take too long. But in the time that we could spell the word 12, Mirage have taken 12 rounds in a row. It was 7 in a row on Oregon, and now it is 5 unanswered rounds here on Clubhouse. And Arial Arise, the more than a glimmer of hope, the real chance it felt like they had in this series has gone from oh so present to incorporeal.
5 seconds left.
And now we sit at round number 6, the final round, where Arial Arise has a chance to get on the board here on their attacking side. Maybe, once again, this is going to be a defender-sided map of all the ages, but I really doubt it. Mirage are looking good, and they are going to put this series away if Arial Arise do not stop them in the next few rounds.
Well, Slothy unable to stop the first portion of that Selma breach with a peek out a gym window. Woos is going to be very wary of that. All these windows have been prepped, and again, Mirage bringing so much aggression on this defense. Seems to be working out much better than the aggression they were trying to instill on the attacking side. Still do have 2 thermite charges, but once again, this mirror window placed onto the CCTV platform breach, try and facilitate the impact trick. Kansan was unsuccessful at doing so last time around. The impact not able to displace the exothermic charge, so they'll look to try and re-aim that a little better this time around, as Poison will be going for the breach, and Brios is watching, but he gets slapped off the angle. Kansan won't be successful on the impact trick, but he will be successful in dropping the Zofia.
Bay just desperate to find something, some trade to get this back. Nobody on Mirage is having it. Nobody is going to expose himself to that position, and I mean, that is pure and simple why Mirage are killing Arial Arise right now, because they are not doing too much. I thought for a moment I was going to eat my words because Kansan was really curious about what was down below. Slothy from the other side will get a bit too active for his own good, so I guess I'll just hold back anything more about the discipline that Mirage are showcasing. The point is, they're doing just enough to torture this Arial Arise team on the attacking side. No matter what they do, it seems like Arial cannot get their footing, and now trying to attack this position. I see 5 or 6 goo mines right over there. I believe 5 on the top of the Raptor staircase with these keep up areas to protect it. It really just seems like Mirage can do no wrong. A good shot from Woos. That'll return this essentially to a 3v3 since Poison has been down, but he's been recovered. Woos has now been finished. It's this back and forth that continues, but 40 seconds and Arial Arise. Couple of goo mines waiting for you there, Bay. Might have to be careful about that.
I think she shot 3 and got hit by 2 of them. Very unfortunate there, as the swing was from Rampy on the Mira out the breach as well to grab the ace with revive Poison, who tries to climb his way up red stairs. He gets stopped at his tracks. The shot's missing for Bay as well, as it's just Enrio left standing outside of the CCTV platform breach. Has to vault in and take the engagement, trying to bait a peek from the top of red from Kansan, but again, Kansan, the better duelist, and suddenly a series that was up 5-0 on map 1 and in favor of Arial Arise is now on match point, series point, just an hour and 10 later for Mirage on map number 2.
Give me a T.
No. We're not doing 13 either, Jonah.
We're not doing 13? Oh, God. You just have some fun, you know? Spell out big words with me.
The series could be over by the time we get to the end of that bit.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Flawless for Mirage on their defensive half, and Arial Arise looking lost and looking afraid. You know, they put up a fight to get here. Let's not forget that they had to fight their way through an open qualifier and push their way to this point. But this last chance qualifier doesn't seem like it is in the cards for them to progress to a further round of the competition. Mirage, unless a miracle happens, they will be facing, of course, the winner of our previous series. They'll be facing Wildcard in the next round to determine who can go on to the final and fight for a shot at going to the major. Mirage, seventh place finish in the regular stage of the North American League here in stage 2. Looking to do just a bit better than that and find their way to the top of this LCQ. And they are one round away from doing it. It is map point and series point.
You can see Bay running out of freezer there from inside a kitchen, trying to mimic a little what we saw from Mirage in terms of the aggression on the defense. And Inrio, actually, inside a strip, will shut down the entry from Kansan. There goes your sledge. That's diffuser down as well in the strip hallway. So good start there. Doesn't look like Inrio clocked that he had diffuser because he just starts barricading it off. So Mirage will have a free recovery of that. Rampy inside a kitchen, not jumping in just as of yet. He's waiting for a partner as well as the drones come flooding out from Mirage to try and assess the situation, and Rampy will turn the corner towards kitchen stairs and will grab Woos. So at least leveling the man count. We do have some soft destruction. Slothy, like I said, we'll have free recovery of the diffuser, so nearly no harm, no foul. The frag grenades taken off the board in exchange for the goo mines that would have stacked over time from Woos. I'd probably take a sledge over a Legion, just heads up, but at the end of the day, decent trade. Still in a good spot here, and there goes Spiker getting collapsed upon. At least Vert gets the trade. But once again, a 3v3, this roaming aggression from Arial Rise does not seem to be slowing down.
Oh, Inrio. No, watch out from above, my friend. It's Rampy with the skeleton key who opens up another angle and deals the fatal blow. 3v2. Mirage 2 kills away from closing this one out. So much for not being able to attack on this map. Mirage seemed to be handling it just fine. It's Poison and Bay that stand between them and victory. Bay, a forward position. He gets the jump on Slothy, but it doesn't matter. The ace wins it. It's all up to the Mira. It's all up to Poison, 1 and 6. The man who has led so many teams to success in the T2 realm is gonna have to put the team on his back just to last a single round further. He's got some intel to work with. He has a mirror window, but Mirage, they're not gonna do too much here. They've taken their time. They've opened up the hatch, and now they're barreling down main stairs. They're down in Moto, and Poison's gotta watch out. He knows where one is. He sees them swinging. He knows the others are working their way back into the site. He can try to spray him down, but he's not gonna last much longer.